Hey, this is Ebube Olivia Akueme, and I'm coming to you live from Kent in the UK. How are you today? I hope you're well and you're good and you're having an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. I'm just going to turn up the volume there because I think I kind of like reduced it earlier on. Anyway, I hope you're well and you're good. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, happy 2025. How are you celebrating? How are you getting on with, just the whole thing to introduce this new year? But most importantly, are you prepared for the year? And today, I want to ask you a question around something that is very key when it comes to progressing, when it comes to your goals, your aspirations, and all of that. And this has to do with fear. Oh yes, because fear is the one thing that holds many people back from achieving their goals and their dream. In fact, it's the one thing really that holds a lot of people back from achieving. And so it's one of those things that, excuse me, we cannot but talk about, but address. And so if you're very serious this year about achieving a goal, whatever it is that you want to achieve, then fear is something that has to be addressed. So today I'm going to be covering different types of fears, like, well, mostly what people suffer and what can you do about it. Take this message, for some of you, maybe you have found ways of conquering your fear already, but this might just be the one thing that can help you, nudge you in the right direction. So the first one obviously has to do with, this sort of irrational fear. When you let fear, so much take over your mind that when it comes to taking on risks, you're very adverse to taking on risk. You don't want to take on anything because you're very fearful that the outcome will not be favorable to yourself. And so what you then do is you avoid every kind of risk taking. And so that's irrational fear. It's not protective in any way. It's just something that stops you from taking any step in the right direction. That is irrational fear. So as I go through these types of fears, I want you to ask yourself this question: which one do you suffer from? Which one do you feel that you are struggling with? And then we look at, what can you do about your fears? Because as you know, there is no achievement if you don't face those fears. And like I said, statistics shows that a lot of people are stopped from getting on and doing what they need to do, achieving their goals and their dreams, simply because of the one thing, fear. So the first one I'm mentioning today is irrational fear. The fear that stops you from taking on any kind of risk. Okay? You don't take on any kind of risk. You don't, you're just risk adverse. You just don't, want to delve into doing anything for the sake of not getting through, not going through, or whatever it might be. Number two has to do with the what I would call fear of failure. I suffered from fear of failure for a very, very long time. For a very, very long time. And a lot of people do. A lot of people suffer from, just fearing that they're going to fail, fearing that things would not go in a way that they want it to go, especially when they have this sense of perfectionism. They want everything to be in a particular way. And I'll tell you one thing that doesn't help. Social media does not help, especially if you're the kind of person that you're forever scrolling on social media. And there's a lot of, comparison in a way. I can be like that or I can be like that. Inflicts what we call paralysis, paralysis analysis, when, you're just analyzing things over and over again, and it just stops you from taking the necessary action that you need to take. So fear of failure, like fear of success as well, can be, very real to a lot of people. But being somebody who pursues perfectionism, or somebody who is just addicted to social media, you're forever always on social media, especially when you come from that angle of, always comparing yourself against certain things that you see on social media, can inflict this kind of paralysis in you. And so this is another, source of fear for some people. Another one, I don't know if you've ever heard about this, is fear of missing out, FOMO. So it's fear of missing out. Missing out on what? I don't know. Missing out on anything. Again, the big source there can be social media, you know, and there's an issue of envy as well, especially when it's comparing things like power and wealth and pleasure and fame and all those things. That person has better and bigger and all that. So there's an element of comparison as well, but you don't want to feel left out. So again, that's, you know, a different kind of fear on its own. And of course, there's another one, the fear of commitment. So this is not wanting to be committed because of certain experiences that you've had in the past, maybe things like betrayal, or maybe you've gone through a divorce, or maybe disappointments. You know, you guard yourself, you try to protect yourself from committing to any, you know, any task, any risk, anybody, and any kind of, you know, outcomes. You just are not committing to anybody. Happy New Year, Anthony. Hope you're well and you're good. So you see, fear can manifest itself in different forms, you know, whether it's the, you know, when you're adverse to taking on risks, or maybe it's just fearing failure, or fearing to commit, or fearing that you'll be missing out. What happens in the end is that it stops you from achieving what it is, you know, it stops you from achieving your goals, it stops you from achieving your dreams, it stops you from achieving the thing that you want to achieve. I'm just going to take this off for a minute. Now let's go into what can the solutions be? You know, what can, you know, you do to overcome fear? Because fear is real in the sense of stopping people. So what can you do then to overcome this fear? The first thing is to identify what is stopping you actually. The first thing is to identify and name the fear. What are you suffering from? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of rejection? Is it fear of success? Is it fear of, you know, commitment? Whatever. What exactly is the fear? That's number one. Number two is to invite God, especially if you're somebody who, you know, believes and, you know, you're of the faith, is to invite God and ask for the courage to act. Courage is very, very important, especially in the face of fear. Courage to act despite the fear. I like this psalm that says that I sought the Lord and he answered me and he delivered me from all my fears. That's in Psalm 34 verse 4. I sought the Lord, he answered me, he delivered me from all my fears. I will say it again. If you're suffering fear, is the one thing that will stop you from achieving anything that you've set out to do in this new year. Fear is the thing that would always grip your heart and grip your mind and stop you from acting and taking on those risks and those things that, you know, you should be doing that can help you and propel you towards the right direction. So number one, name your fear. What exactly are you fearful about? What exactly are you afraid of? What exactly is stopping you from acting? Oftentimes when you see people not doing or doing things that they shouldn't be doing, or not doing things that they should be doing, the one thing, if you get to the bottom, you know, whether it's procrastination or whatever it might be, the one thing that is truly, really stopping them is fear. That's the thing. And so without addressing fear, it's going to be very difficult to go from where you are to where you want to be, from where you are to achieving anything worthwhile without stopping to address fear. So name that fear. What exactly is it? What exactly is the kind of fear that you have? And number two, if you're a believing type of person, to invite God into the equation, into the situation, to say, look, I need your help. I need to go past this fear, but also I need the courage to act. My number 3 point is this, that you have to learn how to hang out with winners, overcomers, and conquerors. These are people that have probably gone through the kind of situation that you're currently facing right now, and you want to learn from them. You want to glean from them, but most importantly, you want to sort of like, you know, engage the kind of mindset and spirit that they have that has helped them to sail through, you know, whatever situation that might be, and they've come out on the other side as winners, as conquerors, as overcomers, as people that are goal achievers, and, you know, they've been there, they've done that. It's very, very important to hang out with people like that are speaking that language of overcoming. They are speaking in words and in deed, in words and in action, Okay, so if you find people like that, those are your best allies in situations like this. So whether it's in your health, in your finances, in your relationships, okay, in your spirituality, or in your work or your career, look for the people that have overcome the situation that you're facing right now. They've gone through it. They've taken those risks. They've, given those commitments. They've faced the failures. They've gone through it. You see, all of those things that I've mentioned, and they've come out on the other side and they've achieved results, outcomes to show for it. Those are the kind of people that you want to work with this year, 2025, that will help you overcome those fears. But remember that fear is false evidence appearing real. However, the mind sometimes cannot distinguish between what is real and what is not real. But I will tell you that if you let fear, it destroys relationships, it destroys health, it destroys people's finances, spirituality, and their work or career. It destroys everything if you let it. And if you do not act, if you do not take the right action, towards handling fear, it's going to stop you. And not just stop you, but it can be very destructive in the end. So my question today, my call to action today is this: would you let fear destroy, disturb, distort, your goals and your dreams? Or are you going to be the person that is going to, take on action and is going to, be that prayerful person, be that person that faces the fear? But most importantly is, put it in the comment section. What is the one thing that you would do this year to conquer your fear? If you know you have any kind of fear, what is the one thing? You might be doing many things, but just share with us, what is that one thing that you're going to be doing that will be different to what you've done in 2024 and 2023 and the years gone before, that's going to change a lot of things and change your direction and will bring out a different kind of outcome at the end of 2025. What will be the one thing that you will do that will conquer your fear? I've shared 3 things that you can do, but tell me, what do you plan to do to face your fears and actually conquer your fears? Until next time, my friends, be better, be good, be well, stay well, and see you this time next Wednesday. Happy New Year, happy 2025 once again. Bye for now.